I've been taken as saying, it's been like a battle of the bulge every day against the deep state here, because every step is faced with a counterattack. And you have the Democrats attacking the administration through fraudulent contempt citations this week. I think they voted out of committee 2 contempt citations against Wilbur Ross, who's head of the Commerce Department, and I think A.G. Barr, over their failure to turn over certain Census Department documents. Well, what is the argument here? First of all, they don't have a right to the documents, so the contempt is meritless. Trust me on that. And if they did, it's the sort of thing you negotiate your way through. This is a fight they're trying to pick because they're desperate. Why are they desperate? Because President Trump's Census Department has decided it might be good, and they wanted to add the question to the census, figuring out how many foreign nationals are present here in the United States. As Jim Jordan said, the left is desperate for you not to know that. And I think he said more specifically, the mirror image of that is they don't want you to know how many Americans are present here in the United States. And Judicial Watch has participated in an amicus brief before the Supreme Court that's hearing left-wing challenges to the right of the Census Bureau to ask this question. To even say there's a challenge kind of tells you that the challenge is probably not going to survive because it doesn't make much sense. Of course, the Census Department can answer that, ask that common sense type of question. And it looks like the court here, the Supreme Court heard the oral arguments recently, had oral arguments on the issue recently, and it looks like there's a majority in favor of letting the rule of law prevail here and getting answers to these questions. So the left is picking a fake fight with the Trump administration on the Census Bureau question. Then you have the continued harassment of the president's family. You have the Don Trump Jr. having to go to the Senate to testify. Again, the Senate Foreign Intelligence, the Senate Intelligence Committee, nominally run by Democrats, nominally run by Republicans, effectively run by Democrats, had brought Donald Trump Jr. in for another harassing deposition. He had to answer more questions based on what? Michael Cohen, the president's former attorney, admitted liar. Then you have Adam Schiff over at the House Intelligence Committee issue more subpoenas, basically designed to retread the Russia investigation again. 4 or 5 investigations. We talked about last week how Nancy Pelosi said the president ought to be in jail. Well, that's what this is about, destroying the president. And when Nancy Pelosi pretends not to be in favor of impeachment, oh, please. Jerry Nadler is her guy. He's the head of the Judiciary Committee. He's in favor of impeachment. Do you think he's doing that contrary to the wishes of Nancy Pelosi? That's not the way the House of Representatives works. Both on the Republican and the Democratic side, the chairmen are creatures of the Speaker. I don't like that. I don't like it when the Republicans are running things, and frankly, if you're a liberal, you may want your chairman to be more independent as well, don't you think? But that's not the way it works. It's politics in the House there. The Speaker picks the chairman. And they don't go out and go rogue on impeachment without the Speaker's say-so. So this is a death by 1,000 cuts. This is presidential harassment. This is a slow-motion coup. They're trying to generate the narrative justifying impeachment and removal of the president. Now, they may not succeed in any of that, but they like the politics of it, which is, I guess, all is fair in love in politics, right? But if it were just politics, I wouldn't be yelling about it. But you have an affront to the rule of law here. Misuse of the contempt power, harassing individuals with government subpoenas, albeit congressional subpoenas. suggesting that Americans be nervous about talking to foreigners about politics. That's what you heard this week. They want you to be worried about the FBI coming knocking on your door if you talk to foreigners about policy. This is the same group of people who want millions of foreign nationals to come into the United States every year. So there's no principle involved here. They don't care about foreigners talking to people about policy. They're just using it as an argument to try to destroy the president. And if the First Amendment gets in the way, they don't care. They don't care. And that's why I'm so proud of Judicial Watch's work, because we're just not sitting by and complaining about this. We're trying to get the documents about the truth of the conspiracy, the truth of the sedition, the truth of the coup cabal, the truth of this greatest government corruption scandal in American history. Judicial Watch, we're an anti-corruption group. This is the biggest issue we've ever seen. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. I've been here 21 years. I was here during the Clinton administration when they were using FBI files and targeting people with the IRS. You know, that's not a new thing, guys. When they were taking money from the Chinese to secure their power. Again, foreign money in politics, not a new thing. And of course, those of you older lived through Watergate. Misuse of government agencies to go after your political opponents, government resources to go after your political opponents. Not a new thing. But with Obama and this current coup cabal, all of this has metastasized. Open alliance with the Russians to target Trump. Using the FBI, the CIA, the Justice Department to spy on a campaign. And then when you say it's spying, they tell you you're not allowed to use the word spy. Orwell must be turning over in his grave. Nothing like it in American history. Worse than Watergate. The left had the temerity to bring in John Dean, the corrupt Attorney General under Nixon, who's made a career of attacking Republicans. Mr. Dean, who was essentially put in jail by the left, has made a career of kowtowing to the very groups that wanted to put him away by pretending all Republicans are like Nixon. I know I've jokingly put out on Twitter and elsewhere on social media, you know who's like Nixon? Barack Obama. In fact, Barack Obama makes Nixon seem like an amateur when it comes to marshaling the resources of government to target his political opposition. He suppressed an entire political movement against him using the IRS. He and his Democratic allies at the IRS and the Congress, and they all worked together to target the Tea Party. It helped them stay in power in 2012. Tea Party was essentially put out by the IRS. They said, oh, we had the IRS do this for this in 2012. What are we going to do in 2016? Hey, let's double down. Go with the FBI, DOJ, CIA. We'll just spy on the campaign. Oh, we got to be sure to protect our candidate from the consequences of her rather obvious criminal behavior, Hillary. And we'll spread the smear that Russia helped him win and Russia was behind his campaign success and candidacy. Remember, the smear didn't begin after he won. It began before he won. This smear operation went out before he won, and it came with the help of the Obama administration.